New Earth Cosmic Conversations.
Welcome, precious hearts. This is Anrita Melchizedek, and I'd like to welcome you to New Earth Cosmic Conversations. We joined here today with Todd Medina, with Honey Bee, Sandra Mathis, Amanda Lorence, myself, Anrita Melchizedek, and we're waiting possibly for another one of our panelists and co-hosts, Adi Shutz. So if she gets the opportunity to join us, it will be wonderful to connect with her. So what I'm going to ask our beautiful co-hosts first is we're going to take a moment to just see how everyone is doing and then move into taking a little bit more time to chat to every single person. But at the moment, there's still a lot of noise coming through. So I'm going to ask you if you wouldn't mind to just mute yourself. So I'm not really sure why this is coming through as well. We can just... All right, good. That's much better. I think that must have been coming through from my Facebook. I did switch it off or switch down the volume. All right, good. So here we are, sandwiched between this gateway that we've just had, this 8-8 gateway, and then moving into the new moon partial solar eclipse energy tomorrow. So what does this all mean, and how are we all experiencing these energies? I know for me that the Lion's Gateway and the connection into Syrian consciousness was so powerful and tangible, but leading up to that was a lot of clearing work. So a lot of emotional oscillations and deepening then into just that reconnection, that reunion of hearts, and feeling that high energy for a very long time. I started to feel it from my time, you know, sort of late Tuesday or early Wednesday morning, and then all the way through Wednesday, and then from there into Wednesday night and Thursday, and it started to subside a little bit today. I've just been feeling a little bit in that space of love and waking up and feeling such an incredible reunion of hearts, but also energetically tired. In fact, I woke up singing, you know, no one loves me more than I love myself. Just such a lovely connection into that divine presence, and with it also bringing a deeper sense of our own rebalancing of our divine masculine and divine feminine frequencies. And what the beings of light from on high were sharing with me, which I put out in part of the portion of the sharing that I was doing on the 8-8 gateway, was that this was really a time now of anchoring the flame of the divine masculine. So the flame of the divine feminine was anchored and activated through the Stargate of 27, through the Lion's Gateway. And of course, we had an incredibly powerful eclipse period at that time too. That was the August 21st eclipse that we had last year. And that was just such an incredibly powerful moment in time. And I know for me that really was a deeper soul merge, where I just experienced, you know, just a deeper sense of presence within myself, feeling more grounded, feeling more connected to source and to all life. And as it brought out and on new gifts, it was really needing that time to step back and have a look again of, you know, how would I like to work? What are my passions? What's coming online? What needs to be released? And it's taken me almost a full year to integrate into, you know, deeper sense of connecting, communicating, sharing, and bringing together the aspects of the service work that I feel, you know, would be of benefit to many of us. And along that road, I've just certainly kept in contact with so many of you and use Facebook as such an incredible platform. And so this is where we are right now, is connecting primarily through Facebook, because there's just so many beautiful light workers and gatekeepers and crystal keepers actually just doing amazing and awesome work. And I've been truly blessed to have caught some of those conversations too. And that's really essentially the panelists or co-hosts that we are bringing together, is those that are out there doing their work and being able to give a deeper voice to everyone, that we can just come together more deeply in community and unity. So I've got Todd with me, who I've also been very fortunate to have connected with recently and done a couple of shows with Todd. Todd is a wonderful host and broadcaster, and really he just has such an incredibly beautiful energy in his own way too. So it's been wonderful to connect with you, Todd, and I know that you are now have done at least like 500 plus shows. Is that correct?
Yes, I think it's 536 or something like that. Yeah.
How absolutely amazing. So you have interviewed people really from all around the world, haven't you?
Yes, we've had these conversations with people. It started out with just people that you'd see on the, on your post or you'd see their post, and then, and then just kept going from there. And so it's been a really diverse group. All ends of the spectrum have been represented, and it's full of activations, and it's exciting. I love doing it.
Yes, yes. And I caught your show recently, well, a large portion of it. That was a really, really long show with Lisa Transcendence Brown. And of course, she's just absolutely amazing in her, not only her centeredness, but of course in the information that she's bringing through, having gone through that ascension process and describing the different levels of the ascension process that we're going through, and the light body upgrades and, the crystalline and plasmic consciousness and waves of light and incoming energies. And it's just absolutely amazing to be experiencing that and having a gauge of where we are collectively and individually through our journeys. So such an incredible conversation. And of course, I know that's just one of so many incredible conversations that you have had. And I've been fortunate. I was saying that I caught you with Honey and with Amanda. I was able to listen in and tune into some of those beautiful shows that you've had there too.
Yeah, they're very exciting. They're very informative. That was the second time Lisa's been on, and the last one was 4 hours too. I don't know what happened. We just started talking, but it was very timely. I was very happy to get it arranged on 8/8. One of the things that I really liked about it was that in her explanation, she explained that these things can happen at the same time, because a lot of the things she was talking about, I was experiencing bits and pieces of it over the last couple of weeks and even the last couple of months. So we can be taking on these different energies at the same time. It's not like we have to do one, then another one, then another one. So I thought that was pretty important. But there was a lot of good information, as there always is when the different people come on the show. But this last I guess since the 27th or a little bit before the 27th of last month has been the most obvious energies that have come down. I was doing a show with Judith Cassell. I can't even remember the dates, but it was sometime between the blood moon and now. And it was probably about a week ago. And on that morning, the internet was going nuts all over the world. People were in the audience. We were losing signal. I mean, the first show before that didn't work. You could almost feel the energy come in. It was just so audible to the five senses. But on a personal level, going through these shows and talking to these people, our brothers and sisters, and sharing in the energy of the audience, it's just becoming more and more obvious to me that the collective is seeing an impact that we all can't deny. So the other thing I like about it too, when you're talking with Anrita when she was on the show last time, and the rest of you, and even Lisa, everybody's going through it. The physical ramifications, I mean, the emotional, and it seemed to me to be a real interesting period, because leading up to the blood moon, it was like you saw a lot of projection, a lot of people acting out, a lot of finger pointing, and it like took us into this little vortex after the blood moon, where the emphasis seemed to be like on self-consciousness, self-judgment, self-awareness. And then to me, kind of paralleling that is the need or the benefit or the activation aspect of us expanding our throat chakras and expressing our souls. That seems to be extremely important. And in my opinion, With the work I do, the most important activations across the board seem to be just the heartfelt expressions that people give. And that's a combination of human and multidimensional aspects expressing that to me carries the highest activations. So I applaud everybody for that.
Yes, yes. And you are right there in terms of it having been an initially quite an intense period. So, you know, there's so many of those ascension symptoms. And I know for so long, actually, we've been clearing energetically, haven't we? And I just noticed in the last few weeks as well, it was just a lot of family lineage, you know, clearing ancestrally. And that was quite interesting for me, because I had also thought, you know what, I've done a lot of that clearing work too. And it's really just, you know, it's just the remnants and that deep purging that is really coming up now, you know, to hold that crystalline consciousness. There's also the plasmic fields, the light fields, and that is really just that creates the whole light body. Essentially, everything starts to shift and change. And I know, of course, a lot of that, you know, Lisa talks about, but it's really, I'm finding it within the muscles and bones too, and new ways of working. It's like releasing old memories and stuck patterns and all that's been released. But it's not just energetically, it's actually within the body organs and body parts. And with that, finding new ways to move the body. So that has been for me also quite an incredibly important aspect, is moving the body too with the incoming energies. You know, kind of a lot of the work that I do, apart from my love of dancing, is shimmy type work, just shaking and shimming and moving, and apart from being out in nature and, you know, just really moving the body and feeling where those areas of tension might still be. And all of that is coming back then into alignment. So we're talking about part of the work that I'm experiencing and seeing is really just that alignment of consciousness of our own universe, of merging into and with that soul energy that we hold it now, where we're not having those emotional oscillations to such a great degree. We're actually just coming into a deeper sense of stillness and presence within ourselves, and feeling and experiencing, which many of us have for some time now, the energy of the divine feminine, and it's integrating now into the energy of the divine masculine on a deeper level. So our feminine is the flow in the timelessness, and finding that time no matter where we are to experience all that we need to, or bring together all that we need to through the service aspects. And the masculine side, of course, is more dynamic, active, apart from, you know, being clear in our thoughts and boundaries and discernment and all of that comes together. It's just such a beautiful alchemical marriage that's really birthing a deeper level of that purity and innocence, which is, of course, further activated and ignited through what we call the diamond light codes. And in the system of energy that I use, that's very much connected into the 18th ray of Melchizedek consciousness, which spirals forth from the cosmic heart of Mother, Father, God. So we're having all these galactic energies coming together. We're having cosmic ray oscillations. We're having photonic rays. We're having planetary energies. We're having eclipses. And then we're having the stargates. And the stargates bringing so much of that Syrian consciousness, connecting into the Lyrian consciousness. And actually tomorrow what I'm doing is a really nice transmission with Audrey Light Language, bringing on the numerology side of the codes along with the light language. And we just deepening into that embrace of the divine masculine and feminine, and calling upon the aspect that we're going to be working on here too, is that merging and integrating of our Christed ET cells, the Pleiadian, the Lyrian, the Andromedan, the Arcturian. And for me, those energies are just absolutely awesome and amazing. So I'm going to take a minute right now to call upon these beautiful core groups and light beings, and to join us in a deep breath as we bring in what we call a light chamber, a multi-dimensional light grid, this 3-dimensional diamond light grid that ignites and activates around the body and energy field through the overlighting of all the illumined beings of light from on high and our beloved I Am Presence. And as we bring it and ignite it, and experience this light grid, we just breathe in love and breathe out love. And we ask that this light grid not only bring through a deeper rebalancing of a divine masculine and feminine, and deep into the innocence and purity of our soul light and beloved I Am Presence, or inner child, as the gateway to God. But with us too, to expand into the levels of service work that support us, sustain us, and take us deeper into that reunion of hearts on the inner and outer planes with soul and star family and friends. Feeling supported, feeling appreciated, feeling deeply loved in all that we are. We are all that we are. The light of God I am. I am the light of God. Inomosoa ia kionokoa kia. Imosoa ia. Imosoa ia. Breathing in love, breathing out love. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose or mouth. And just as we head into this linking of hearts with one another and into this linking of hearts to the I am avatar consciousness of light at this time, just have a sense of how we are feeling right now, having experienced Lion's Gateway and moving into partial solar eclipse energy and what it brings to us. How does that take us into a deep expression in our own life of being grounded and centered and express in new ways of communication or power or clear boundaries or love? Just allow the energy of our own loving hearts to unite as one flame, one love, one unified field of light. Grounded and centered through the crystal heart of Mother Earth, aligned into the sun, the great central sun, the sun behind the sun, the Syrian gateway of light, into the cosmic heart of Mother Father God. Ino koa kino soa ia, imo soa ia. Good. Good. So as we start to really feel that connection with one another, we'll tune into and use that energy as we move deeper into a transmission in the second part of our show together. So I love what you offered, Todd. And I know that, we recently had a conversation together on Soul Speak 5D. Actually, a couple, haven't we? We've had a couple of shows together. Sure. And what I also realized, or what I saw, was really not only your great depth of knowledge and your loving heart, but also really for, awakened light workers that are possibly launching new products or services. You would make such an incredible addition to those offerings. So part of what we're putting out here is what we do, what we offer, what we can do. And, I would just like to put it out there too, in terms of what you can offer, is really just a magnetic presence and a wonderful co-host. Because at this time, I feel so many of us are also, this is also really a marketing platform in a way. We're coming together and we're saying, how can we take our services and products to that next level? Because it's a teaching platform, but it's also a marketing platform of promoting and being seen, being heard, because we're really just coming from a service perspective, aren't we? And that means putting ourselves out there. And I know for me that, I certainly was a little bit shy to jump onto video, and I'm certainly not the only one. It was much easier for me to actually just close my eyes and move into a transmission and put that up with a picture, then to kind of say, okay, well, let me do a video or transmission, sitting there and sharing. It's a new way of connecting. But I feel so much that is really just we are going more and more. We're just connecting in person at this level, which is so amazing. The Light family, the Light tribe, coming together a lot more. And one of those mediums that we really are exploring a lot more or venturing into a lot more is the video platforms. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if you have something that you're launching, or you would like someone to just co-host on something that you're doing, really, I feel that Todd would be just absolutely wonderful to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah, I think it's kind of tricky for us all because I call it the 5D commerce. And so I think that would include marketing. We use these 3D paradigm terms, but I think for all the stuff that we've been through, and I try to keep everything to myself. But, you know, if I look at the last 2 weeks, there was a absolute surrender to the divine feminine once and for all. There was you know, on the knees, you know, ball my eyes out, get me out of here. And then it all came together. And then there was this energy that came in that I have to believe was a lot of the divine masculine, which was creation, collaboration, work. And I just started throwing my stuff out there, and I saw it all happening.
Yes.
Not just for me, but for what I was seeing out there in the community. So I think this is a great idea. We don't really know what to do. We don't really have an owner's manual or a set of rules. I was always told, here's the pieces, put them together. And that's pretty much what everyone else has been told that I've talked to. Yeah. But for me, something pretty extraordinary happened last night. When I went to bed, I actually felt separated, the feminine aspects of me and the masculine. And both, it was a different type of experience than I've ever had with those two energies. And it wasn't even like a divine union. It was like a balancing point. And I think that I would reflect a lot of the collective. So this is a good time to share information. Sology is a platform. Anybody wants to put something out there, that's what we're there for. We're open to collaboration. I'm open to collaborating on a personal level with anyone and everyone because we all have the same mission. And I think we're starting to see the congruence and cohesiveness, you know, seeing proof of that. So I'm always willing to look at whatever anyone has, just putting it out there. And thank you for letting me share that.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Todd. You know, you really are such an incredible person in your own right, and certainly such a wonderful host. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming and joining us on the show. It's certainly much appreciated. So, honey, I know that we have known each other too for some years, and, you know, we cross paths and come together and move apart again, as we all do as facilitators and teachers. But it's always so wonderful to be connecting with you. And thank you. And I know in your own awakening, in your own journey, you know, you've certainly been through, again, some of your own challenges like we all have, starting really from an early age where you had your first, I guess, out-of-body experience when you were 7, when you had the car accident. And, of course, moving countries as well, just moving from Iran and moving to the States with your parents and experiencing from a very early age a lot of psychic and spiritual experiences. So that really was part of your grounding or training, I guess, into the remembrance of, you know, being this beautiful light, being in service to Mother Earth and all her life. So I don't know if you want to just start with telling us a little bit about what you're doing currently and what your focus is.
Sure. Blessings. Thank you. And it is truly an honor to be with everyone today here. And deep gratitude really to you and Todd. Todd, particularly last week being on your show. Thank you so much. And both of you were, when you had the full moon talk, I was right here where I am right now in Smithtown. We're having our event here and was listening to that. I messaged you both. So deep gratitude to everybody else that's also here, because there is that incredible grace of divine's hand that which all of us have really opened up to, with this presence of the sacred divine feminine inside of us really expanding, that we're able to see through that lens the union and the unity of that Christ consciousness in form coming together. So that's why, like, also Sandra, we've known each other for a while, but there's this, I call it the energetic pool of how we're coming together. And this where the energy pool is really pulling us, because that in which has been awakened with us is that light codes is it's the gravitational pull within the center of that galactic sun, the inner sun, the cosmic sun, the source sun. It's everything from the inner sun of Gaia inside. So we're pulling together. And for that, I'm very grateful, because that's why we are here at this time. And I remember as a child, in the dining room of my parents' house, I remember I had drawn these photos, these like things, and I would always have like 4 or so. I would tell my parents, I came through this portal. I'm here to help humanity. And my parents never knew what to do with me when I was 4. This is before the fatal car crash. And I always would sit outside with my suitcase, because I would remember saying, those 2 say they're my parents, but they're not my parents. Where are they? Why am I left here? You know, just this big joke has been placed forever and forever. The longing to reunite with my family, the real family that I knew was true. And I love my earth family. They're beautiful. And it took me a long time to recognize the value of the earth family, finally coming into that, recognizing that soul recognition, why we've also come here, and their role in all of this so-called density that's transmuting back into light through the lineages that are clearing on all different ways. So my devotion has been to the Christ consciousness, the Mary Magdalene codes, and that feminine Christ. And that really merged from, it's been a journey, but the real merging of it is when I died on January 8, 2012, and I had the full experience of life after death and meeting the the Arcturian Golden Council of 12 on the other side. And that council meeting I was brought forward, where so much was revealed in the revelation to me in terms of my DNA codes shifting that was brought into the center. A lot was changed within my template before they sent me back to Earth. And it was by far one of the most incredible experiences. For people that want to know the details of that, it's on my YouTube. There's a 30-some minutes. I talk about every detail, what happened when my heart stopped and I left my body, and where I went, and the journey of that. That experience connected me when I met beloved Yeshua, and the information that was shared very specifically. It's been a transmission that I've been connected to very clearly from the life that was shown in Lemuria, very exactly why I had incarnated to take part in that, and then Atlantis, and many different significant moments on Earth. 844 lives to be exact, and this one being the last human incarnation, as beloved Yeshua revealed to me. And he said, go back and share this. And there are several of them, go find the rest. So ever since I was sent back to my body, I was sent back with ancient wisdom. So I stopped listening to anybody. I stopped reading. Everything was stopped, because they asked me, they start working with me very clearly with Melchizedek and Metatron. And some of them I didn't even know. They started coming in and working specifically with the keys and the codes to unlock the keys and the codes within the strands and the strings of the DNA. Yes. And very, very, and coming back with certain abilities that was already there, but fully blown, blasted, so I can deliver the work, particularly on the land that I spoke of on Todd's show. So, and which is through a lot of movement and a lot of sound, the sound frequency of the transmissions. At first, I didn't know what was happening, but the sound transmissions coming in were in different coded language, and they would come through my consciousness into my sort of like my presence, and then into my vessel, so then they can be implemented into the Earth's grids. But I was assigned specifically to the 3rd grid system. I'm still assigned to that. That hasn't shifted, but it is all about the sacred divine union. But the divine union in me had to first fully merge And my body, I went through a very rigorous, intense 365 days. First, it was 21 days. Mary Magdalene, beloved Yeshua, and the Octurians had me go through to transform my template into a diamond template. That was, I had to be in stillness for 21 days with no movement for a period of 13 to 15 hours, just sleep. And I'm a very active person, and I was sent somewhere far. And then so my body can become the template, but they say it takes 365 days. Once you become the diamond template, then afterwards we'll send you to these other locations. So I've been on the land. My work is a lot on the land. I'm a traveler in different parts of the world where they have me go to rebalance the energies, to bring them the sacred divine Magdalene code, the feminine Christ code, to bring the balance, to activate it to the full unity Christ consciousness grid. And then within the 3 layers of the 22 chakras in particularly that I've been working with, bringing the codes and the keys. And so it's very, very technical, but in this plane, when I go into movement and the sound, the transmissions, I bring them in. And there are many multiple languages. And from that, I've had to learn who's communicating with me, from when the Lorence, for example, started communicating, or the, let me just bring this back. At first, I didn't even know, like I knew something was coming. And my whole death experience, I died because of an illness that attacked my thyroid. And because I was always told I can't, like I'm just not allowed to speak. I'm just not allowed from a very strong Middle Eastern culture as a feminine. I'm just not allowed. So many things not allowed. So eventually I shut down, and all the real illnesses was in my thyroid. So, but when I was sent back, a lot of ancient wisdom of what took place in the temples of Isis and many more was very clearly shown also in, again, Atlantis, Lemuria, and then what needed to clear up and what we used in the sounds for in preparing the body of the sacred divine masculine to be able to merge into his divine feminine and lead the way. So there's a lot that was shown, and then I've been creating circles to bring some of this knowledge forward. So having said that, I had to first merge within myself. That was the big key, and that was the challenge that I had, to become the beloved myself. And that presence was very difficult, because I would have the outer experience coming, and I was shown very clearly there's this person that will be coming. At that time I was married, beautiful marriage, my children, married to my best friend, had my beautiful center, had my product, you name it, I had it, but my heart was dying because it was a different truth I knew. So essentially they might show me a vision, this divine is coming and you'll be sharing this message. And I didn't know what to do with that. That was like way before, this is 10 years ago. I'm like, what am I? I'm a devoted wife, you know? But one by one, everything was dematerialized. And I had to come to, as I shared Todd, everything had to leave my house, my marriage, my everything. And the hardest one, I feel, Anrita, what you and I connect with our children, that my children, I was like, I can't believe I got to separate me from my children. And I knew that was my test. Are you going to fulfill this? Despite how badly you be judged, do you have what it takes to deliver? We're going to send you to very odd, strange places. Do you have it? And I couldn't turn no. And I have to say, those of us who are mothers in this incarnation, serving on the forefront of the ascension of that gateways and opening, bringing this in, we're put through the most rigorous training of all, just so that we can really, and that's part of our sacred divine masculine merging within. And it did take, of all the people, it took my oldest son to give me the power when he was 12, because I wanted to hide when Yeshua is like, you need to go. I told you, you need to share this. And I just hid in my closet for 2 days. I cried. I was under blanket. I'm like, I'm not coming out. Like I refused to. But my oldest son said, Mom, if God talked to you, you know, you have to, I can take care of my little brother, you go. And that was that strength I needed to go, and very, very difficult. But point forward, so this union took place between Michael and I, and for 5 years before that, I've been serving on the land alone. And there's a lot this vessel has to go through between the physical vessel getting ready, the emotional body getting ready, the mental body getting ready, the etheric body getting ready, the spiritual body getting ready. All the keys and the codes have to click in. So all the debris has to go out of the way before it can be the template of that divine expression of pure service, pure illumination of light. And you cannot be the, like, it's not really controlled. It is in, but it's not, because when you're of service, there's a divine, that I am steps in, and that I am has a whole different presence, and it's knowing, and it's full collaboration with the entire creative consciousness. So when we are on the land, we just finished our work on the land for the Stargate. The last 4 years, I've been placed in Mount Shasta, working with the Ascension team and bringing the next set of the T codes. So when they come in, I'm able to disperse them, because at first it was 3-dimensional, and then it moved to 4th dimensional, it went to 5th dimensional, then it's in the 6th dimensional presence. When it comes in, I'm inside the experience of it, and I'm able to see the movement and then the translation of the sounds of it. And then I'm able to receive the gold, and when it shifts in my heart into the silver, and it's then able to be placed on or through my feet in the movement of it. And so Michael's role has been very significant now, because before it was so much on my body, so much, because for days I couldn't talk after. I would be catatonic because the codes were so much, and my system is like I'm going into massive like seizures. There's a lot on my vessel has been utilized, and I've had to constantly be on top of updates on my system, being very gentle with it to be able to just serve this, and serve it in a way in which I can't fully explain it, because it's an intricate language. And then so they started working with me in communicating a simpler terminology so that the rest can catch up with it. So Anrita, I just want to acknowledge you have been a very significant role in my life after I was returned back to my body after my death experience, because when the Arcturian Golden Council came through, started giving me the assignments on the road, I really didn't have like, who do I talk to? And I found your video made a huge help. I just want to acknowledge how grateful I am to you. And as I began sharing more publicly, it's also been the trickling effect of the helping the others, because there's so many of us and each of us have our own part of it. So let's go to 8-8. So we were positioned at a different place. So I just want to share this. What I'm assigned to with Michael, what has been sent back, is very much about the Magdalene codes. The Magdalene codes, the rays of the sacred divine feminine, just so that the sacred divine masculine can merge into it. And there's specific grid lines that are assigned to come and clear them. This particular one, we were in upstate New York, sort of a random place we were shown, and usually they come in very specific image. There's 3 screens in which they show me, and I have to go find them. And Michael has adapted to this now. He doesn't ask questions. So we go, and then we're at a specific timeline. We have to get and prepare our bodies and go into it, and then start receiving it and experiencing what it is. And Michael's role is to be there to do now his part. This time it was interesting because I did draw what took place, and I wrote about it in the video right away. And but for him, he was able to codes that were coming and dispersing them, instead of me being the one that it really helped. So my system was able to adjust easier coming back to my body. And when you do this, what it really does, it helps open the fields with the 17-mile radius that has been shared. And it opens the unity Christ consciousness. Let me just share with, in terms of the geometric aspect of it, is the dodecahedron and the icosahedron coming together. So that way, that's the new unity grid. That's the new earth grid. And that's also what's so important about it. It's the platform in which all of us have to build and create on. So because it's sustained by the fifth dimensional frequency and higher. Everything else that we're attempting to create that's not coming from love, that's not coming from joy, is not in unison and vibration harmony with this grid, because this is the co-creation is the key, because it has to benefit everyone, the highest good of everyone. This has been for me for 6.5 years on the road. What I serve, what I bring has to be for the highest good of me, highest good of the people, highest good for all. That means including not just earth, cosmic beings are also benefiting, because they've shown me that oneness energy. So I can't, there's so many things I say no to because it's not in vibration or harmony. And I just cannot. So when we cleared this, one of the most interesting thing in this 8-8 Stargate that was shown when the streamlines started coming in, at the end of it was the blowing into the grids that I had not seen, all the ones. There were particularly 36 grids that I was asked to blow into to clear them, which I didn't even know. And so that it starts vibrating now in its fullest vibration of the 7th dimensional frequency. I was like, and I had seen this once before, because when I was serving the work on Australia, the Great White Brotherhood of Light came through and they said, we're going to give you access to the 7th dimensional frequency. It's a red frequency. We want you to work it on the land. And I said, like, how am I assigned to this? They said, because you're a mother, you can contain this vibration in you. You've been ready and serve it. And so my holy blood has been used a lot on the land with clearing and shifting and what have you. So what, yeah, and what for many, many different parts, that's just missing the Christ code or the Magdalene codes, and both of them and this coming together. Two things, in this moment, Michael and I are very much about that inner divine union and our flame used for that highest purpose, for the highest good of all. We know this is the gift from divine presence that has brought us together. And I knew this for what? Just for the service, just in the visions that they had given me over and over and over. So when we go to places, when whether individuals having the private healing session, only Michael does all the healing sessions. I've stopped completely 1.5 years now, all healing sessions, because I can only focus on the event with channeling the masters. We're finishing our book now with the amount that this incorporation from many different dimensions, from 5 to 12, the different ones that have come in, brought their teachings forward, and many different languages, and just everything is very precious in their sacred, clean teaching. And so when we go to different, we're going to go to our Europe tour, different countries facilitating. So for us, it's just facilitating and bringing people to this, connecting them into the same frequency that we have been connected to, that we've been serving. So everybody accesses the same insight, the inner side in which we're seeing through, that is available to all of us. So all of us is, for ours, is very much about the empowerment. Often people see clients, Michael once, that's it. Or you see me once, you don't, because it's already in you. Just a quick little adjustment, off you go. It's already in you. You have to do that. And that inner work is in the key element, part of it, including myself and Rita, with certain family things came up. I was like, wait a minute, this has been this last month. I was like, I've finished that. And they said, yes, but you have done the lineage also, and you've done the collective also, but now all of you are merging to the next level. So here, clear this more.
That's right. The next soul level.
Massive clearing that both Michael and I did within this window, which Michael's father then transitioned during this window, which we're very honored during this period, because we're all part of it together. So
honey, we must move on,
yes.
Very soon. So we will come back to, we'll have an opportunity to do a little bit of a transmission. But,
Yes.
what I'm picking up there is really some very salient points, which is so lovely in sharing experientially a large part of your experience, because really you're talking about us all as the light workers, as the stargates, grid keepers, as the, we are the light nodules, the physical vessels of light, but we actually essentially are creating the geometries and light frequencies, as we know, within our bodies. Everything is within our bodies as a universe. And from that, then we are placing the grids or moving into where we need to be and holding that energy and igniting and activating from within us the consciousness of those around us. So it's not only through our own energy field, of course, but we actually are the geometric sound, color, light, twin flame frequency. So part of your work, of course, that I see with you and Michael, you're embodying that twin flame energy. I did many years ago, I worked a lot with the Mary and Michael lines, because I actually lived across that ley line when I lived in the UK. So it was really, crossing that path at that time. But really, essentially what you're embodying for people then is not only the reflection of the integration of the divine masculine and feminine, but actually showing the path of conscious communication and divine love.
That's right.
And, there were so many other things that came through there, but I think that's just really a wonderful space and place to be within, to be holding that flame of divine love in all that you are sharing. So we'll have an opportunity towards the end too of telling us a little bit more about your trips and where you're going to be in Europe, and, how people can connect and join you. So thank you so much for that wonderful sharing. I mean, I was just really taken off quite cosmically.
I know. When you said that, I was like, okay, let me come back to it.
Just awesome, because it's so much a part of my reality too, isn't it? So much a part of so many of our realities, that we just are these also incredible multidimensional beings, and we just have so many sacred experiences, whether it's just, putting the crystals outside, or actually just intuitively being guided to the places that we need to go to work, or, to walk or to anchor, to integrate. And so much of our work is really just expansion and integration. So it's like expanding and sharing and connecting, activating, and then coming, you needing whether it's a couple of hours or a couple of days to actually just integrate all that high frequency energy. And I can feel actually I'm still in a slightly integrative space myself, having experienced through this the Lion's Gateway. And of course, just the tail end of that energy was just real high frequency vibes and energy transmissions, and very active and beautiful, and intensity of core groups and merging and reunions of hearts and merging into the ET Christed aspects, which is really one of those aspects of ourselves. And my perception too of those, the templates, part of what the work I'm doing is energetic templates at this time. It's moving 5D, 7D, 9D. And, I know some are even talking about 12D and what's coming online there too.
Yes.
So just absolutely amazing, amazing things that are happening for those that are aware or conscious of that. So thank you for that beautiful sharing. Wonderful. So Amanda, I think it's so wonderful, part of the work that you are doing on Facebook. And Amanda's joining us from Glastonbury. And Glastonbury was certainly one of my favorite places when I used to be when I used to live in the UK. I lived down in the border between I've lived in South, what was it? It was Tavistock, and then I moved into Cornwall. So so it was just kind of the border between Devon and Cornwall. And it was just an incredible energy, an incredible part of the country to be in. But I spent a large part of that time in Glastonbury at that time, many, many years ago. And you would actually really feel from about a 20-mile radius also that transmitting frequency that was coming through from Glastonbury Tor. And it was really such a hot chakra energy. I know that all these portals and vortices actually also, they attract not only the light workers, but of course, I wouldn't say, they attract those that need that heart energy or that love energy. And Glastonbury, I know for me, was it's one of those places that is a little bit trippy. It's very like fourth dimensional, actually, rather than fifth dimensional. it's really kind of fairy realm and bubbles, and you walk down the streets that have this bubble machine, and just be putting out, just really kind of feeling a lot of that nature connection. And at the same time, just meeting people that are either releasing and then those that are holding and anchoring the light. So like many vortices and portals, it's just bringing what it needs to the people that are living in those particular places. So really, it's a place with so many amazing memories. I made my light essences up on Glastonbury tour, and if I say the amount of workshops that are hosted there, and the amount of incredible and amazing people that I connected with at that time. So really just a kind of a powerful energy center, but also a place really of a lot of unity and community.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think living here, you get used to it, and it's not till you go out, like it's like going across the wall. Do you know what I mean? When you go out, say if I go and visit my mother, which is 3 hours away, you're then in shock, because it's a completely different world outside of Glastonbury. And it's like you say, when you're coming back into Glastonbury, you just feel the energy, and it's just it's relief, actually. And it's because of the energy, but being here, you do get used to it, but you get used to the magic of it, and just you appreciate it every single day, and it's just your world. And it's only when you leave this world and you go out and you think, oh my God, really? It's quite trippy. It's amazing. Obviously supposed to have come here. I didn't expect to whatsoever, but obviously it was supposed to be. So for a while anyway. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your light work. I get a sense of it. I have a knowing of it and an understanding of it and what you share. And I know for you, a large part is just really based on what you experience from that multidimensional realm, and kind of just coming from sharing from the heart of what has been experienced energetically and empathetically through the light grids, through the planetary energies.
Yeah, when I first awoke in 2012, I worked with Gaia. I worked for over 2 years anchoring for Gaia, and everything evolves. That's the thing, is nothing stays as it is. Everything flows and evolves. So it's like the information I put out on Facebook assists people with the now energies of the collective mass timeline, because I'm fortunate enough to understand them. And don't get me wrong, it takes me a while to get my head around what's going on, because I'm human as well. And but when I'm absolutely certain, then I'll put that information out for people so that they can at least say, oh, well, we're here now as a collective. But I also, because of my life, etc., and all purposely so, like many light workers, I'm able to understand the human side to this ascension, and I like to try and support people up, just raise them up, just help them. Sometimes people can't see the wood for the trees, and it's just, come on, just give them a little lift if you can. And usually it's when I decide to do the support videos for the human part of us, it's usually, it's always intuitive. So I never know I'm going to do it until it smacks me in the face that this is needed out here, this is needed out here. And so I just try and reach out and just help people on their path, because it's hard. It is a hard path. And everybody could do with a bit of help, basically, now and again. It does, if we can help each other, that for me is the way. But my own path is very different to what people see on Facebook. It's I do that to support, because of my heart. But my own path since awakening is very, very much to do with energy. So I was shown, like through visions in front of me, energy, how energy works, the Merkaba, the labyrinth, the grids. And then my path for 6 years has been about learning about energy, working with the energy within my body, working with this energy to merge with that energy. And so my whole path away from Facebook and away from supporting people is actually, my life is to work with energy, just like the ancients did, where they would be able to dissolve something and then they would be able to manifest something for the highest, greatest good. And that is actually my path. It's just, I don't talk about it too much because I'm always trying to help everyone. So, but away from Facebook, that is exactly what I'm about. And that's what I play with and practice with, along with Gaia, because she's so with us, you know. She teaches me, she gives her wisdom, not just about her, but about the higher frequencies. She explains where she is compared to other frequencies and where she's going. She's just this wisdom house to me. And it's a beautiful help for me that I can liaise with Gaia, and she just teaches me. If I ask, she teaches me, she shows me, and it's always unexpected. So she's just a beautiful, loving, great friend to me, and you know, I'm so grateful for that. But generally, go for it. Go on, tell me.
No, I was going to, actually, when you're talking, it's like just really everything is communicating. And, you know, I felt that really in terms of you working with energy, I'm also an energy remodulator. I like to think of it that as an alchemist. You know, I tend to, my whole life has really just been about working, I think with so many of us, that's just such an important part of this work, because everything is energy. And how does that passion ignite within our own lives? You know, for me, it's really just so much of that has been making flower essences and crystal essences and light essences, and now this whole angelic soul scents range of essential oil blends with crystals and diamonds and angelic templates. And because it speaks to me.
Everything is energy. That's the whole thing. It is about us recognizing the energy of something. So because as soon as we all recognize that is energy and that is energy, we can actually merge with the energy. And with this ascension mass collective timeline now, our senses are going sky high in what we're able to understand and pick up on within a flower, within a tree. It's just blowing the lid off the ascension right now. The energies we've got now are just
in an all-time high,
truly expanding. I've not known any energies like what we've got right now
myself.
As you said before, the Lion's Gate, it was hard. It was hard for many. We were up against ourselves, and then on the Lion's Gate, and then the day after the Lion's Gate, it just went poof. And what happened, what it feels for me now, and I'm sure it's going to be the same for many people across the planet, is this is all about the body now. It's all about this energy, this light body. Yesterday, I felt like I needed to be out of this body. It felt too containing. And then when I sat in with it and felt into it physically, energetically, I don't mean, you know, intuitively, I just mean feeling the energy inside my body. I realized all it is the light body pushing out. It's pushing, it's itching to get out, and it's inside, outside. It's itching to expand and expand and expand. And that's where we are now. We're at physical light body activation. And absolutely. And I know, I know we've always been activating our light body along the path. I know that. But this is shift time. This is literally, we've been activated, and our light body has literally gone up a stage. And it's about us and how we respond to that individually, to our own, like, what are we going to do with it? basically, and that's an individual call as to where we expand from here. But we've been waiting for this, so it's great.
It's absolutely amazing and awesome. And as you say, that's really intense as well. You know, you got to just really be looking after yourselves and grounding and eating right. But that sense also, that soul like coming from in and merging out and pushing out. It's like sometimes like I hear myself screaming, like, just for a minute, where it's like I can't get enough light out the body.
Yeah. It's good to always to remember as well, you know, this is good for people to always remember, is to always see things from at least two perspectives. So you're always going to see things primarily from your human perspective, your linear mind, that third dimension, because we always do this, our consciousness, it's always flowing. But then think, well, okay, well, what is it at the higher frequency of me? What is going on? Because when I felt contained within my body yesterday, that was my human feeling that or thinking that. But when I went into it and felt into the energies, I absolutely knew 100% it's my light body expanding out. And there's a huge difference in how that makes you feel emotionally, mentally, to be contained or to expand out as your light body. It's really good to look at your two, there's always infinite perspectives, but at least look at human and then go, okay, well, what does this mean at a higher level of me? And then we just expand from that, and we're related by it instead of, you know, down there. Yeah,
that's a very nice way, Amanda, of expressing, you know, kind of what's going on and looking at the different aspects, because I tend to look at multidimensional consciousness first, you know, as the soul energy in the body, and then kind of bring it down that way. But I really, of course, as we all do, we operate from a linear perspective and then from a non-linear perspective. So I think part of that programming, or you know, kind of the consciousness aspects of unconsciousness observes in that linear state of being initially anyway, because it's just part of the neural pathway. So it is quite a nice way to take yourself from that aspect and, you know, kind of expand out. So it's a nice way of working. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah. And what do you perceive for the energies coming online now, for coming into this new moon partial solar eclipse, and you know, what it's going to bring for us?
In terms of detail, I don't know. All I can tell you is how I feel about tomorrow, and it just feels, wow, it just feels such a blast of energy. I'm completely, I don't get excited about eclipses, and I'm completely excited about tomorrow and the energies and the love. It's going to all be about love tomorrow. Love for one another and unity. So I'm completely excited about that. And I'm also excited about our equinox in September, because my focus personally, apart from being on the body and the energy, as in working with that, is a little bit towards the equinox in September. I've been receiving information since July about that, so it feels quite huge for everybody. As Todd knows, I think I spoke to you about it, Todd. Yeah.
Yes, honey, if you want to speak, you must unmute yourself. Yeah.
So just something that I wanted to share based on Amanda's. I mean, there's so many things as we're speaking, but when the Stargate finished, there was this full collective recognition that we will be living from our light body, our supreme light spectrum, full spectrum of the 12 rays of light that was shown collectively in this garment. And this garment is the most essential tool in which this radiance can flow through. So the falling in love, like the way they had said, the way divine loves you, is such a key essence. Because I love, Amanda, what you said, because every day, for example, we have been talking to our 50 trillion cells, and that light body communicating, here we go, we're expanding together as one. And it is such a key, because the tomorrow with this new moon partial eclipse, we were told it's the brand new beginning of our full essential life bodies on earth. So I wanted to just share, me like you, Amanda, the extreme excitement of it. It's like, wow, we completed this. Like, here we are. We are able to really dance with this cosmic rays, but very much in the human template. We are able to contain the grace of it and no longer run away, because the inner work has been done. So I fully just celebrate.
Yeah, and I think I totally resonate with what you've said. Obviously, we have our own ways of perceiving things, but what you're perceiving is exactly as I've experienced it. So it's complete resonation there, honey. But the key difference, because it's easy for, you know, this all to be heard and perceived in the wrong way. In other words, throughout this ascension, our light body has been activated at an incremental way.
Yeah.
But a Lion's Gate, or at least yesterday, our light body jumped, and so now, it's like before the higher self descends into us. This is a really good analogy. Before the higher self descends into the physical body, we kind of see it as separate or above us, don't we? It's like separated off. When it's within us, it's one. So we don't even relate to the word higher self, because it's in our body as our opposite energetic consciousness. So mine was masculine, galactic, and that's within me now. So I'm whole through that marriage that took place. But what I mean is, up to that point, we perceive higher self as separate to human self. There's like this distance. Now with the light body, we've been on a kind of similar perception of the light body. What happened? So we can feel the energy, we can talk about our light body, we can understand it, we can even see it through our third eye. But what happened yesterday is that we are now human plus light body equals one.
Yeah.
That's what's happened.
Yeah.
And it's really key to understand that. Under that understanding, well, I know you get it, but for everybody else, is that human vessel and light body, for those ascending, all at their own stage of ascension, but yesterday it became one. There's no, it's one thing now, even though we've got the physical and the light body.
Yep. I totally
love that.
Would you?
Yes. I had such a deep sense of just the divine presence, you know, as I said, and just feeling so much work to almost like my perceived sense of it, apart from the pituitary pineal gland activations, the pineal in particular, it was almost like diamond crystals being activated as a crown of light around, you know, around the head area. That's probably the best way I can describe this experience that I was having last night. And just this incredible merging and connection. Everything was just light. Absolutely everything.
Yes. And also, for the building up to yesterday, of course, you know, I never know what's going on, in a sense, you know, I don't know until it happens. But now that I look back, the last 10 days, because I visually see my Merkaba for the last 4 years, but the last 10 days, the brightness of the Merkaba has just gone so much stronger and higher, so everything lights up even more. And now I can understand why that happened, is because of the light body has literally gone up a stage in our conscious development.
Yes. That's like diamond light body ignition. And you talk about the Merkaba field as well. You know, for me, that it's like, I feel it's like jelly around me. That's probably the best way that I can describe it. You know, it's like these dimensions are all merged together and connected together, and everything, it's not solid, but it's definitely not the way that air is. It's just really, and it's a capsule. I guess it's really, it is. It's like a bubble of light, but in that, it's like a density of light that feels sort of jelly. It feels like it's like a jelly field all around me. It's just this incredible protection of light that extends 54 feet in diameter, and it's absolutely amazing, you know. And and it's just become so much stronger. And part of that too is that ability to, I wouldn't even call it manipulate energy, but you know, for energy to just, with the consciousness of thought, to actually shift energetically, not only your own frequency, but actually what's happening around you, and to be communicating in greater levels of expression, whether it is with nature intelligence, whether it is with one another, whether it is with the higher dimensions, the core groups, light beings. It's really all just coming online at this moment. So just an amazing, amazing time. But yeah, an accelerated level of consciousness that is integrating through the body, and at the same time, you know, just running a lot of energy. So if you're feeling a little bit of that energy overload, you know, just bend forward, dump out the energy, run blue through the Kundalini tantric channels. What I find for me often, because the energy can get still quite intense with so much energy running through the body, is that the Kundalini tantric channels also activating, as if you run a sky blue color through that, or just get out and get into nature, or have bicarb seesaw baths, you know, bringing the energy down a little bit. It's really just an incredible thing to do. But we're really starting to feel part of that energy matrix then moving into this partial solar eclipse, which is really going to be potent. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing something with Audrey Light Language there, the integration of the galactic aspects through the Christed ETs, and also just a deeper sense of merging with the divine masculine and feminine frequencies through the Stargate of Sirius. So, you know, you're most welcome. For those that would like to join us, you'd be most welcome. But that's amazing and wonderful, Amanda. Absolutely.
Well, it's amazing times for everyone, isn't it? It really is.
Yes.
We've done a lot of hard work, so it's worth it.
Oh gosh, haven't we? I mean, I know that we're here all in service, and that's our primary focus, and that really is all essentially that we're doing. And you know, we're just lifting ourselves into that next level of everything: manifestation, abundance, inner plane, outer plane connections, expanded creativity, expanded gifts, and you know, healing ourselves, rejuvenation, regeneration. And at the time, all the time, just keep going through, moving into the next level of new earth templates. So just next level work, because it just keeps going and keeps going. It's just, it's never ending into that ever expanding field of light that we are all experiencing. Wonderful. Thank you, Amanda.
Oh, thank you.
So we get to you, Sandra. You've been so patient there. So if you unmute yourself, or let me unmute you, let me have a look. Can you unmute yourself? I shall unmute you there. There you go. Great.
Hi. Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
So where are you joining us?
Where are you joining us from? Say again?
Where are you joining us from?
Okay, I'm located in Macon, Georgia, which is one of the smaller suburbs near Atlanta. There's quite a bit going on here. I've been listening to all of you, and it's like, whoa. Okay, so we've got a little bit going on here in Macon, but you guys are doing phenomenal. And so I've got some work to do. So I really don't know where to begin, except first I want to give honor to all the panel here. I've never really met all of you in the physical, but it's okay because most of you are my friends on Facebook. Anrita, I've been knowing you for quite a while. You were, as like Honey was saying, one of the most inspirational persons that I've ever met. I met you when I first started to ascend, and I started to ascend very quickly. around, I want to say 1996, 97, somewhere along in there. I came from a very, very religious background. My father was a minister and my mother was a nurse. I am the mother of 4 adult children. I have 12 grandchildren and 1 great-grand. And all of them are very conscious. So I'm really like expanding right now. I'm in a very, how can I say, a critical growth period right now. I just don't I don't think that coincidences occur for me to happen to be a very intricate part of this panel. I'm very honored. I have called in the elders, I've called in the councils to guide me as to how I'm going to present what I have to say. The work here that I have done, that I've been involved with, is 2-part. I was told that I was an intricate part of working with the sun rays and also the tones. I'm very much off into presenting the tones and how that frequency works with the human body as well as the light body. I go around, my children think I'm nuts because I take lots and lots and lots and lots of pictures of myself because I can see the progress that I'm making with my light body. I started out as, when I took my first picture, was one little dot of a red something on there. I don't even, but now when I get in front of the camera, I'm very photogenic, but it's like different colors of rays are all over. You've seen my Facebook picture and looked at some of the rays, where I even developed a crown over the top of my head. It's called a halo. So, but before that, it was a lot of work. I had to, I realized now that I didn't have to, but I left a long, long year of marriage. I was married probably for over 30-something years. And I began to ascend so quickly and expand so quickly. It was like, whoa, where am I? I'm over here by myself. What have I done? But I was grasping. I just wanted that knowledge. I wanted it. It was like food to me. So then I met a friend that began to introduce me to the energies. It was you, and there was another individual. Her name is Sandra Walters. I'm sure you know her. She's a beautiful, beautiful, very hard light worker. And I took her course. And then I started to do what you call sun gazing. And as I gazed, my body began to quickly just eat up the rays all, and I could feel my heart chakra expanding. Every day I was having this giddy feeling of, it was somewhat sensual, but yet different. I can't really describe it. So, okay, I sit down one day to meditate. I'm meditating, and I have this huge pillow candle, right about yay tall, and I'm meditating. So the energy of Kuan Yin comes into my meditation. And then all of a sudden, I hear something trickling on the altar, and I open my eyes, and right in the middle of the candle has melted in the middle. Instead of it having the flame on top, it was coming directly out of the middle. And I'm like, whoa, okay, what in the world is going on here? But it was the most beautiful feeling that I'm sharing this experience to say that there may be others out there that are listening, and maybe, maybe they can relate to some of the things that I've been going through, because I'm still working very, very hard as a light worker
well, you look like a beautiful golden sun, and I look at you and how you dressed, and it was so interesting when I saw you in the beginning. I thought, oh, look at that golden sun.
You're so beautiful.
Yes, and all the work that you're doing with the sun and solar Christ consciousness, and really what you're talking about, Sandra, right now is just divine synchronicities and symbols, and how energy presents, because we're listening to the universe in different ways right now. So whether, a long time ago, it was like really the book that hit us on the head, or and now it's, of course, the internet page that you just click on randomly and you just end up to that perfect place, or you just connect with that perfect person. Oh, you see
Absolutely.
all the numbers, isn't it? I mean, if I tell you every day, it's like just 111.
Mhm.
Two,
Yeah.
two. Actually, these clothes are coming out now. You know, the two,
Oh,
two,
yeah.
twos, and you know, the
Oh,
three
yeah.
threes, three threes.
And
It's just
so,
absolutely amazing how just these numbers are accelerating,
yeah.
along with, of course, so many other levels of divinity in
Hmm.
terms of listening and receiving the guidance
Yeah.
for the next level of our service work, but also for the collective, and
Yeah.
you know how we're going to do that and where we're going to go. And as we just take that moment to enter into stillness, you've seen the
Hmm.
pictures and the patterns and the gifts just
And
coming
that's what,
together.
yeah, that's what intrigued me. I started looking at different patterns. I would look at some of the grid, the graph, the grids of how the planet was changing. I didn't realize that I was actually shifting with that. What is attracting me to this? What is making me go here and want to eat up this particular form of knowledge? You know, everybody has their own different way of the way they grow. As far as like language, I discovered that my body has the ability to just, I play the drums. I've seen Honey beating on the drums. I've seen her do that. My gift to the planet is communication through the tones of beating
Lovely.
on the drums. And so now I have my own drum group that I actually perform with. I'm almost 70 years old, but I have the energy of like maybe a 20 or a 30-year-old, you know? And so I just share that. I'm also a driver, a personal driver. So when my clients get in my car, here's my part of the work on the planet. I give them a positive thing to say to take with them. When they get in the car, you have no idea what people are going through with this shift, with this change. It's massive. It's a massive change for each one of us. And when they get in the car, they have this multiplicity of problems and things. But when they leave out, they're like, whoa, okay, you're a 5-star driver. I really, really like that. And this is how I get a lot of people to email me or start tap into my Facebook. I'll give them my email address, send them a packet with maybe 15 or 20 leaflets of things of how they can raise their vibration, what they need to do to some suggestions as to what they can do to try to start that process and try to raise their vibrational frequency so they can be in a much better place. Love
it.
Start,
Love it. Yes.
start loving the inside, and that starts to grow, and it'll open up the throat chakra. As you can see, I have the gift of gab. And so I started talking with people and realizing, whoa, okay, I'm helping myself by doing this. And I started loving it. I'm like, okay, I'm a leader. I'm doing this. I'm a light worker. I'm this and I'm that.
Yeah.
And I had to realize what the job was to go along with this. So was the ego trying to step in? Kind of a little bit, but I had to try to control that and start understanding about the ego and how we can all put ourselves out there as these great big czars and people like that without realizing, you got to do the work to go along with that.
Mm-hmm.
So where I am now, and I'll tell you what happened on yesterday, 8/8, I had a massive downflow or download that came through the cosmos, through the Lionsgate portal, because I had done that activation that you put on, which one was that? The pyramid. You put an activation on there and I listened to it and I'm like, holy cow. And it actually sent me into a spin. And by a spin, I mean that I had bouts with vertigo as I've been going through this process. Every time an inflow of energy comes in, it hits me like a ton of bricks. And it looks like it goes straight for my heart chakra. So I started to spinning and spinning. I'm like, oh, Lord, what am I going to do now? Nausea, all of that stuff. And I realized what it was. So that was my experience on 8/8. I was in bed sleep most of the day trying to figure out how I was going to present to all of you today, So I have a whole ton of notes that I've taken from each one of these individuals. And I know we don't have all day, but I have no clue where to start first. There's so much information to cover.
Wow. Amazing, amazing. What we will do is we'll move into a little bit of a transmission shortly, and then you're welcome if there's something that you would like to express for a few minutes, up to about 5 minutes, you're welcome to share that. But what I absolutely love is just a recognition of, you know, how your own energy field is creating and affecting change just through your very presence. You know, you big mama in the car, and everyone that gets in is just in this loving, divine presence.
Yes.
You are sharing your gifts, and there they are. You know, people are crazy. You know, they get in and they've got so much stuff going on because, of course, the majority of people, the human side, is just rather unconscious. So they're getting in and they just suddenly, if they can sit, they're just experiencing this love. Absolutely amazing. And then, you know, she's saying you're taking them deeper and giving them the affirmations and giving them gentle things and simple things that you can do to actually lift your frequency, because really what we're talking about here is high vibe versus low vibe.
Right.
And however that expands or expresses itself.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Frequency. It's all about frequency. Frequency. Yes. I tell everybody it's about vibrational frequency and how you not necessarily control it, but how you take it in and process it. You have to process it slowly. For example, you've got a person out there that's a newbie that's just starting out on their ascension process. Yes, they want to know, but you can't give a baby a steak and expect him to eat it. So you start out little by little by helping these people move along the process, just like we had to do. So that's the point. That's the part that where I am now. I'm producing my first magazine, and I'll have my first Blog Talk Radio show near the second week in September, and it's going to be entitled "The Path of Spiritual Enlightenment." And I would love to have all of you guys as special guests on my show. It's going to be an hour-long show every Sunday. And I'll get with each one of you on that. And I'm also coming out with a magazine for spiritually enlightened people. It's going to be, it's kind of like, I call it the Kuan Yin Chronicles. It's going to be a small book that will be put out that will have health, and we'll have health advices, and that will have exercises that you can do to strengthen your third eye. It will have healthy eating habits in it. It will have information about the moon cycles and the cycles of the planet, where the grid is at, and these sorts of things. I already developed one a couple of years ago, but I want to upgrade it to what's going on in the now, you know, in the now moment, and with the energies that's coming in. It's shifted a lot. So those are a little bit of the things that I've been working on.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And then put it out there to our live tribe here on Facebook. If you need a platform, we've got Todd Medina, we've got Sandra Mathis, just people that you can connect with, that you can share your light with, that you can at the same time share the information that you hold, because that's really what we're doing right now, that we're networking and connecting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so honored. And if it's one last thing that I would like to leave, it's that everything is one in divine love as a collective. I learned that a few years ago, but I really saw it on your website and Sandra Walter's website. Some of the orders I had gone through, the Ancient and Mystic Order of Melchizedek. I had gone through the Ancient Egyptian Order, all the various orders that was shifting me, but I didn't realize at the time what was happening, but I was shifting so quickly. I was going through all of these orders. I'm like, what does all of this mean? And now I get to the point where I finally reached, I want to say, partial peak around last year, when it was like my energy was just all over the place. And I just wanted to tell everybody from the top of the Tibetan mountain that, hey guys, this is what this is all about. Let's do this. But nobody was wanting to listen. They're like, either she's nuts or you've all gone through that. And but it didn't matter. It didn't matter to me. I just knew I had to keep going, just like I'm continuing to go now. This is a beautiful opportunity for me. You remember when I first asked you some questions way back when you had one of those first webinars. I don't know what kind of questions I was asking, but I felt like kind of silly after I got off, but it made me research. It made me look up the information and try to process that. And now I'm really, really communicating. I've connected so closely with all four of you. And that to me is here. Yeah, I get a little emotional, but this is what I've wanted. I've wanted to be heard as a light worker and as a person that loves everybody. I don't care who you are. You are loved. It's all about love, vibrational frequency, and we must embrace that, you know? We must embrace that.
Love you, Sandra.
I love you all too. Man, I love you all. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you. So as we move just into that heart of love as one unified field of light, let's just take a few minutes to just deepen into that, to feel the energies and to really just feel how we're all feeling. We can just close our eyes for a few minutes and just find our breath and find our sense of the pulsations that are coming through. And we may just feel a deepening sense of intensity in the experience of these plasmic cosmic light ray frequencies of crystalline consciousness that are igniting and activating, coming through from the great central sun and from the Sirian stargate, connecting into Sirius and connecting into Lyra, feeling and sensing the Golden Rose galaxy, the merging of the Milky Way into the Andromeda galaxy, and feeling and sensing this exciting now moment in time, bringing online the diamond light body, bringing online deeper levels of connections on the inner and outer planes in divine presence, in the stillness of our loving hearts, in a greater level of knowing of the merging and integration of our divine masculine and divine feminine spirits, and loving ourselves all over again. And as we just breathing in love and breathing out love, just take a moment to focus simply on the breath, wrapped in this beautiful diamond, golden and white flame of love that ignites within the loving heart and moves into every single subatomic particle and through each one of the chakras. Breathe in love, breathe out love. Breathe in love, breathe out love. As we come together as one unified cosmic heart, this very special time of the next level of our soul's forward evolution through the collective I am avatar consciousness of light. We have a sense of all these illumined beings of light joining us. So as our beloved I am presence, our soul light that ignites from within our loving hearts, this merging, this connection, this deepening sense of our own light, of our beloved, loving, appreciating, nurturing ourselves. As we take a moment to energetically or physically place our hands upon our heart chakra, and as we say to ourselves, I love you, giving our full names now. I love you. I love you. And with this, having a sense of how the body is doing as this temple of light, you might need to move the shoulders up and down, move the body backwards and forwards, and feeling too this Kundalini energy as it starts to ignite, maybe moving the body, rocking it from side to side and backwards and forwards. Feeling this energy coming from the base chakra, Also feeling this energy coming from the pelvis area. Everything is stretching, moving, expanding, expressing, birthing, contracting, relaxing, pulling in. Lower abdominal muscles, vaginal, anal muscles, relaxing, contracting, expanding, feeling and sensing this healing, sensual, loving energy, moving from the sacral now into the solar plexus and into the heart. And as we just deepen into the heart, we have a sense of seeing this beautiful diamond light, this diamond, golden and white flame to one another, to the light tribe. And now linking in through the unity grid of divine love as these physical vessels, these vibrating portals, receivers and givers. Linking in our diamond light bodies as the I am outer consciousness of light, linking into the higher light of all awakened souls on this sacred earth, and feeling and sensing now in particular the diamond light frequencies, the diamond light codes expanding from within us to the cosmic heart of Mother, Father, God, into deeper levels of our own purity and innocence, seeing, merging with our beloved I am presence, to the sounds of Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sibiyut. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God of hosts. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sibiyot. Holy, holy, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Sibiyot. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God of hosts. Feeling, seeing, sensing ourselves held within this flame of divine love. Beautiful golden frequency moving into every body part and organ now. Diamond light bringing on the sense of purity and innocence. This golden light. Flame of unity consciousness. Feeling and sensing oneness. Oneness with all aspects of ourselves. Oneness with others walking this path of divine love. And allowing now this beautiful white flame to wrap around us and to expand our energy field into this field of light 54 feet in diameter around us and within us. Connecting to soul and star family and friends. To the Christed extraterrestrials. To the mighty Elohim, the archangelic legions. All those that we are familiar with, to bring online the fifth dimensional diamond light body templates, the seventh dimensional diamond light body templates, the ninth dimensional diamond light body templates, the 12th dimensional diamond light body templates, and feeling and sensing to this halo, this crown of 12 diamonds ignite and activate around the crown chakra and move into the physical body. So experience this recalibration between the left and right hemispheres of the brain, between the pituitary, pineal, hypothalamus and thalamus glands. Each one of these diamond light frequencies holding the codes and templates of that which we experience individually and collectively as we walk this path of love. And taking a moment too, through our loving hearts, to ground into the crystal heart of Mother Earth. And to feel and sense that connection into the inner Earth sun, the golden sun within our hearts, the sun, the central sun, the sun behind the sun, linking into Syrian consciousness. the galactic center, the great central sun, the cosmic heart of Mother, Father, God, merging, integrating all dimensions of light within our universe, bringing it into this moment, into this now. As this diamond light body ignites 54 feet in diameter around us. Within this, the fruit of life, now the flower of life, Metatron's cube, all the geometry is coming online. Dodecahedron, the icosahedron, octahedron, the cube, the star tetrahedron, the tetrahedron. Just allowing ourselves simply to receive on every level of our beingness as these open hearts walking this path of love, in community and in reunion of hearts, as the flames of divine love, as the sons and daughters of God, from this space and place of love, igniting into the next level of our souls blossoming and service work, while simultaneously experiencing this rejuvenation, regeneration of every body part and organ, and clearing, purging, releasing all that no longer needs to be experienced in this now, in this timeless now moment of the ever-present continuum. Breathing in love and holding the breath and releasing all that is ready to be released in this moment. Any area of discomfort, pain, sadness, heartache, blame, shame, lineages being cleared, timelines being cleared. Feeling and sensing a new connection and intimacy to the divine feminine spirit and the divine masculine spirit. Knowing it is safe to trust, to love, to experience intimacy with self and others. And on this last breath now, sucking in as though sucking in through a straw and blowing out, aligning through all dimensions of light into the cosmic heart and crystal heart, into the heart of all life. One heart, one love. Rolo mono na makina ino ang ingong wai ni mono rolo na makina kina o ai ang ai no ai. Imokona kia kiena kia sina kia. Imosoa ia inkaino koa.
Ishamaya kataye awashiki ai watiashia utake maeshia kaya iti kurakahia shia kia i utaya i kia kia uatare ya kia urashia wataishi yataya kuhata ya tata ya kaya hiya tu tasha ya kia hiya tagu atia taya ya tu rakara tia kuashik yahi sikatira kuratara ira tura shikata. Please join me.
Inomosono koakina sia ia kioa. Imosono koakina sia ia. Imosoa ia. Inkaino koa.
Ishana mataya hea kea tea kua ea tea ua tea awa ea ea tia ea ku e ti e a tu ua kua ea tu ua ea kua au a i wa.
Just starting to feel and bring these frequencies into the body, to grounding and centering ourselves, to feeling how we are feeling right now and how this translates into the areas of our own lives that we are possibly still working on. Aspects of self simply don't remember that they are love, the wounded soul aspects. As we are loving through our unique experiences to know ourselves as love. Just invite all these aspects into our loving heart. In the knowing that we are love. In the knowing of how greatly we are celebrated, appreciated, and deeply loved. We are the light tribe. We are here and anchoring the energy of divine love upon this sacred earth through our loving hearts and into the hearts of all humanity. We are the sons and daughters of God, the flames of divinity, the master beings of light. And in this now, we are accelerating into the next level of our collective soul journey and into the diamond light body and into the new diamond light grids and new earth templatings. And all we are asked to do is to trust and surrender and to take a leap of faith, knowing all is well, all is well, all is well. Inkono koina sia ia kiwa. Inkaino koa imosoa ia. From the space and place of love, we Gently open our eyes, coming back fully present, grounded and centered, looking through our master eyes. We take a moment to place our hands energetically or physically upon our loving hearts as we say, I love you. I love you, Amanda. I love you, Todd. I love you, Sandra. I love you, honey. I love you, Light Tribe. I love you. I love you. I love you. So I think we're going to leave it there tonight or today, depending on your time zone. And to just honor all these beautiful people and to invite you to, if you are listening to this and you have something that you would like to share, we would absolutely love to hear from you. We would love to host you on our show. We would love to know more about you. We would love to know more about your service work and how you are making a change as we are doing this collectively, how we are affecting and creating change, and how we are all experiencing these beautiful new earth frequencies and dimensions of light. So I don't know, before I end, if there's anything that anyone might like to say. We can go around and have a last word before we end. So we can start with you, honey. Thank you for that light language. That was very beautiful. So I will just ask you if there are any events or workshops that you are hosting. I know that you said that you and Michael will be traveling to Europe and that you are going to be hosting some workshops there. When is that going to take place?
Thank you. So we are currently in Smithtown, and we have tomorrow a special event for Mary Magdalene and the new moon. And it's very specific to the Sacred Divine Feminine here. Then we are in North Carolina with the Healers Retreat. That's where. Then we're off to the 8th in Europe and North Africa. We are looking for a connection. Thank you, Sacred Bee. We're looking for a connection in Morocco. If anybody has a community and Casablanca, we would love to serve there, particularly around 10:10. That's where we're called to be. But we'll be in Germany, in Nice, south of France. We'll be back there, and I have channeling the masters there. And then we have the day of Archangel Michael healing, and then in London, then we're off to Spain, and then North Africa, Morocco.
Oh, lovely. I actually know radio host Mansif in Morocco, so I'll send you those details. Yes, I'm sure I'd be absolutely delighted to connect with you and interview you, and you can share more about what you'll be doing when you come to Morocco. So that's absolutely wonderful and amazing. So
and thank you for being with all of you today. I'm truly honored, and all that participated today, and everybody in the collective. And Anrita, I also love you. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Big love. So thank you too for every single one of you. I know, Sandra, that you've got your stuff coming up soon. So please all we've got all our links on there to people who are looking at the Facebook page with the event. And we can just post it there again. If you have your Facebook pages or website pages or anything else that you'd like to post, please do so through those links. I don't know if there's anything, Todd or Amanda, that you might like to say before we end the show today. You good?
Well, I just want to say it was nice being outnumbered by all these divine goddesses. I love you too, Anrita, and I love everybody out there. Thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Great. Thank you, Todd. And I'm sure it must be, a little bit of a nice experience, to rather be co-hosting than to be, the one doing a lot of the speaking, which you usually do yourselves. So how wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd just like to thank you, Anrita, for everything you're doing to unify the whole, and maybe honor everybody's path and everybody's storyline as our own.
Yes.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you. And I'm truly so blessed as well. The Facebook Live community is such a huge one. Yes. And it's just so wonderful to be able to connect in this way, because we're in so much busyness ourselves that, you know, when I see these videos pop up and I see things happening, and as a single mom, you know, my life is also quite a juggle. So it's like, well, I wish I had that time, and I wish I had that time. So this is also such a beautiful way to be connecting and taking that time for one another. So I'm truly excited to be with all of you and to be hosting this collective consciousness of light platform, and to grow from strength to strength, and most importantly, just to showcase all your beautiful talents and gifts as we come together as one heart. So thank you so very much for this opportunity to connect with every single one of you beautiful souls, and from my heart and to yours, and to the collective heart of all humanity in the cosmic realms. Blessings in love. I love you. I love you. I love you. Love you. Love you.
And Rita, I'm gonna just share just one last thing. I'm so honored we're invited back on Todd's show on Friday, August 17th at 6 p.m. where Michael and I will be sharing as a sacred divine union on his show. So I'm really honored that we'll be able to be there and what we're called. So thank you so much, Todd, for opening that space for us. Thank you again.
Wonderful. I'll see you there. Namaste.
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 New Earth Cosmic Conversations.